Welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of Ugly Thirds. Today's topic is going to be Florida Panthers' top three jerseys. Shrems and John, take it away.
I always find it harder to do some of these best ofs because, like, when a team finds a look, they find a look and they stick to it well, and then what's really beyond that?
Yeah, and when Florida entered the league, mid '90s, this was the style, like that cartoony looking.
But even as far as cartoon, it's not as cartoonish as a lot of it's no bright green bug on Columbus's jerseys,
No.
and that was 8 years later. Like
No, it's not bad. It's not great.
it's very detailed.
Yeah,
On that.
it took them a while to get to great, and we had some bumpy roads along the way. But their best jerseys are the ones that are most recent.
Well, let's say that. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna make an audible.
Yeah.
And let's start with that initial jersey, and let's talk about this more because, like we said, it's a very detailed Panther, very detailed. It's a cartoon rendering, but it's not that cartoon-ish.
No, it's not Fisherman. It's not Burger King. It's not Wild Wing.
It's meant to be a semi-realistic Panther, and I think it did a good job. The perspective is excellent. Like, it does make a pretty good logo. It's well self-contained.
Yep.
Good design element. Well, I mean, we've all seen now with the reverse retro, everyone highlighting that there's a sun and a palm tree on a hockey jersey. That used to get a lot of heat, but then the cacti in Phoenix seem to supplant it. What are you gonna do? And they follow good design elements. The red and the blue are both very intense colors. They never touch. Red and gold never touch. Again, with the intensity. They did a really good job separating colors the way they ought to be in order to not vibrate, and it's a really well designed jersey.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you. There's not a lot of teams that get it right out of the gate, especially in this time period. They could have had so much worse and so much more of a disaster.
And they're not trying to play like they're an original six team. I mean,
Nope.
it's got the pointing shoulders that are very 90s.
They knew their place,
but they're not. It's not ridiculous like so many teams could have
Nope.
been. So as far as third best, I think it's deserving. But as you've been alluding to, the current look.
Yeah.
The current look it's great. It's a
Yeah.
great look. A lot of people gave crap for the shield. I think it's a well-contained look. If you don't want all the detail of a Panther, how else do you want to do it?
But you go from, and I think that's a very as a franchise matures, you go from a detailed looking cat like this to something a little bit more regal.
Yeah.
Something that is not as gimmicky. It's a bit gimmicky. Our number 3 is it's a touch gimmicky. But now we have this fun. But I like the details that they have on the shoulder. The sleeves here as well. Like, this is different, and that's where their captain's patch at for a while.
So with this, the new owner, was in the 101st Airborne. They wanted a very military look, which is why this is a shield now. It's based on and this being the sleeve things that you see in the middle of sleeve patches, not shoulder patches, and so it's further down. And you're right, they had a captain, and then you had either captain or alternate, just like you would with a military badge.
Yeah.
Right above Florida, and good luck finding these. I've been trying to find an A for this. I can find the A for the jersey. I can't find the bar to put with it. But I think it's cool. And they have the Florida flag, which is, and then they stylized it so it's not. Can you get a close up on this? I don't know if we're. The Florida flag has a seal on it that is ridiculously detailed and hard to reproduce. So they replace it with a sun, which I think is a brilliant.
Easy enough.
Brilliant. Panther crawling on top. Like, everything about that patch is a solid patch.
Yeah.
Numbers on the shoulders, which I don't think are amazing, but I'll tell you, my only complaint, and this is no one else seems to mind, is that the stripe stops on the back. Like, halfway through, underneath the sleeves, your stripe just stops abruptly. I think if you have a stripe, it should go the whole way around, but that's a me thing. Because everyone seems to be doing it, and no one even noticed when Pittsburgh did it in the most recent Winter Classic. So
Now, what's your hot take on the switch from gold to gold?
Well, I think that again, when you're going more regal, it fits, and I think it would be a bit more bright. You'd have to try and make, because here they made sure that red and gold never touch in the actual pattern.
Yep.
Here it'd be very difficult to do. I think it works. Like I said, my only complaint is the rear stripe, and if that's my biggest complaint, you're doing good.
You did all right. Does it slap as hard as the first one that we have?
Well, number one,
as the kids say these days.
So, it's white jerseys sometimes just pop that much better. I still think Washington's white is far better than its red, even though we're rock the red everything.
Yep.
I think it just pops that much more. I think the gold is a much better accent with making this red look that much better in the stripe. And when having these side by sides where you get the brilliance of the details. First off, this lace up, which has been fake through the entire, at least the Adidas era, it's just all stitched in Reebok. It was panel behind it. They no longer lace. But if you're going to do that, you might as well do something interesting. And this is meant to evoke the Florida flag. Like, that's an actual stated storytelling element.
Excellent.
Which takes storytelling for what it's worth, but I like it.
It's a nice little feature, though.
Better feature, on the road, it says Florida. At home, it says Panthers. It follows the baseball naming system. Everyone knows where you are when you're in Florida.
True.
Away. And then what I didn't notice until just now, the sleeve patches do the same thing. They're opposite. Panthers, Florida on the sleeves at home.
Isn't
Florida, Panthers on the sleeve on the road. Like, that level of detail is what takes a good jersey to a great jersey.
But most people aren't going to recognize that. Most people are going to look at this being like the same home and away, like those little fine details. This is my favorite look in the league, and you know, 100% is this one right here. It's just so clean, crisp, and straight to the point. And the Panthers, fantastic.
Like I said, if this wasn't blank, I think I'd be right there with you.
Yep.
So, with that, what do you think? How wrong are we? How much 90s nostalgia is going to cloud the comments? Let us know. He's Shrems. I'm John. Phil, take us out.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and tune in for another episode of Ugly Thirds.